they're all mixed races, and so it's very interesting to see that. And yet, at the same time, we're making all this progress, and we have the killing of the poor guy.
And then we fall back into that, which is terrible. Yeah. In Minneapolis.
And then we see the Minneapolis, and now there's burning. Today there's burning all over America. Cities are burning, buildings. And I never understood when you're doing the writing to go burn random buildings. But anyway, there's something going on there. And I'm not meaning to offend anybody. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. And then everybody's grappling with their racism, you know.
Well, I think a lot of people who are in the elementary stages are coming out. I mean, you know, they're I don't know. Everybody to me is equal. It's not about color. It's not about anything. It's about a spirit. It's about the self. But there's a lot of this happening, a lot of crime, a lot of just murder, you know. I mean, that man in Minnesota literally killed this man who was begging for his life. And I think that as we evolve to a higher level of spirit and love, less and less of these things hopefully will happen. And that's what light workers and people who are here to do this are from. And our own species of where we came from, too, you know, play a part in an ability to help out with that. So I think it's sad. In many parts, like what you said, Janet, it's going backwards as far as the racism is concerned, which is terrible.
Yeah, I remember, I'm 66, and I remember the race riots, and I lived in the northeast of the country, and in Pittsburgh, and I remember, I think it was 66, 67, 68. I want to say it was 12, so it was 66 or 67, and I walked down through with my girlfriend through this part of town, which you could still see the smoldering fires. They had put them out, but there's a little bit of smoke coming out of the rubble. And anyway, so I personally experienced it. I had to face my own fears. She wanted to walk down into this part that was all black and it was still burning, and she said, we're going down there. We were walking past it on the outskirts of it. I said, really? And I was facing, well, what am I afraid of? Just something a different color. So I decided to just go with her. I said, okay, let's walk down there. And so you could see it was an all-black neighborhood, and they're looking out their windows, and these two little teenage white girls boldly walking down, and she was 2 years older than me, so I just followed her, and she walked up to one of the houses, and she walked up to the door, and somebody answered, and she said, just checking, are you okay? And they came to the door and said, yeah, we're fine. It was brief conversations, and we went on. So now there was an article that said that, like, basically everybody's a racist, right? And I've had these conversations about racism. I have a very dark-skinned Cuban fellow who lives on my property, and so, and you know, I'm in a very mixed world, and I have a very dark-skinned Native American, probably South American tribes, or you know, some Native American or lighter skinned, and I'm just looking at all these people here in Maui, and it's like sometimes I go, what are they? But then it's like, why is that so important that you don't have to categorize people and figure out who they are, right? And then I have discovered in my own work that I am a multidimensional self, and I remember incarnations that are not past life or future life, but they're simultaneous, where often I am in different species avatars. You know, I could be something that flies, something that's in the water. I have one that is underground, and it just it rolls over rock like it, you know, like it's sliding on snow, right? And I come back into my human form, and I try to integrate this, and I feel very thankful that I'm able to experience that talk about racism. What about other species? There's speciesism, right? My species is better than yours. So, in saying all that, I'd like to put out, we have like about 20 minutes left in the show, is how do we get past these obstacles where we judge, we prejudge, we're prejudiced, prejudge, and then there's all this polarity around race and sex and gender. How do you see us going from here, which is a polarity and rejection and projection, to unity consciousness, to like a Star Trekian society? Like, I would put that to both of you, but Karen, you first, and then TJ. How do you see us getting there from here? Karen, you
well,
first.
I feel like that when we see a broader perspective outside of the Earth plane, there are going to be many different types of like races, species. There's some that are blue. There's some that are green. There's some that are all kinds of colors and shapes and sizes. And I think that the Earth, I think we will get past all this. I sure hope so. But I think that those of us who come down here without any, without any judgment, there's a lot of judgment and critical and cruelty, and even without racism, especially going on now when this is when all these crises are happening. And there's a lot of it in the ufology field, which shouldn't be, and hopefully that'll stop. But because we're trying to blend the people into their light of their highest self, which they're acting out a play. This is just a play. And sometimes if we get to a higher level, sometimes when we get to a certain stage of vibration among ourselves, and I know y'all have felt this too, you can feel it within you, and all of a sudden you feel like everything around you is a prop, and you become embossed.
Oh, yeah.
And you're then the observer of everything around. And I think as people, I think a lot of people feel that. They don't know how to tell it. But I think as their higher self or their spirit self awakens to curiosity to seek, I think that changes. And at this moment, I feel like that it's gotten rough out there because there are not enough people wanting to seek what's out there. They want to stay put in a certain conservative religious thing or that sort of thing, conventionality. And they're not wanting to seek their path, to seek a path of higher journey. But I think that these type of sad tragedies do awaken more people to do that. That's my opinion of what I've seen with my students, that they get that way. And it's hard, but the outcome can be beautiful when the person realizes that they're the architect of their play and they accept and believe that, then things manifest of what they want and what's best, and it goes into a higher understanding, and it creates a euphoric feeling in this solar plexus region of just pure love. And I know we've all experienced that.
Yes. Okay, let's pass the talking stick over to TJ. TJ, you have worked on board ships with many other species. Could you describe the other species that you worked with and how they different ones were there, and what were the differences and what were the commonalities?
Well, it depends on who you're working with because, we're all energy. And
what about you? Who did you work?
Me, I was still
who did you personally work with?
I worked with beings that look just like us. I'd call them more light workers than anything. Most of them have the intelligence of the universal order and the dimensions and why they're working together for the good of humankind, so to speak. But they also are the caregivers and stewards of terraforming planets and hubs for energy gatherings of the humanoid kind. So some of them that were of various skin colors, I understood, was their culture and where their souls are born in various parts of the universe. There were the pale pinks and the pale blues, and, you know, it's like on our blood, we have oxygen joined it. Some of them had copper, a copper golden tan. There were gold beings. So it depended on their deity or god level is what I understood. A lot of the ancients that would come down and observe during us, you know, with nuclear technology or zero-point energy or how far we're getting, the historians, they were extraterrestrials, but they had they had 4 fingers, and in order to come and be like in Australia or Europe or somewhere, they would have go through a process where they'd put another finger on to blend in on this planet. And then the gray, some of them were actually little, like they call them the little Japanese. Some of them were brown with the big eyes. Now, we didn't discuss Annie Jacobson, but some of the things I'd like to tell you about since you asked that question is a lot of what the intelligence propaganda from World War II is that Russia, Germany, you know, with Hitler ganged up because his interest in the metaphysical or the UFO ET world, and that may have been. I don't know because I don't have a life during that period, but I did have that memory come up as a gray. So we were paler because we don't work on the planets with the suns, you know, but we work in space. But the little gray AI entities were like chosen because they wanted to help their humankind, and the little grays, when their planet was imploded, well, those people from that other universe went there and destroyed their planet. They teamed up, just like in the movies and televisions, wherever people get their content to make movies and television for our entertainment purposes. We've seen a lot of them in Star Trek, Star Wars, and even Stargate, whatever the Stargates. Those little people, they were highly intelligent, and they wouldn't harm anybody, but they don't harm because they're fragile. They're not made to last. They're made to travel and do research. They're little bitty, tiny, thin-skinned people. And, it's just sort of a gray, thin thing. So the beings that I worked with, they were those that were over all the universes at the God deity level. So they're deities, and they expand universes with beings that are humanoid biologicals. But also, the ones you're asking me about were AI. They were, where we're going here on this planet is when we joined, and we've done it before, folks. These are just maybe wiped off due to nature or maybe some help from some of the deities at their level when they, cleaned up a planet or restructured it for use. I don't see it. This one's been here for billions of years or maybe even trillions. I don't expect it going away. They like this system for learning. But some of them that are sent, one of my messages, which I didn't want, but I guess I chose maybe in this reality, was letting us know that I would be here during the Ascension Age, the AI, where we go into, where we're going to use AI together with biologicals. So that's
Great.
a little hard to digest for me even, but we can do that again in the future. So there's beings that we're going to become.
So what do you mean by
in the
where we use AI with biologicals? Explain that, break that down for us. So is that what we're doing with like Sophia and the other AI?
Well, we're doing it now with our robotics with Elon Musk. We're doing it with, how we're going to be having. What it is we want more data. We want more. We want more knowledge inside our brain, and we know we don't have the capacity. So as we do the plasticity of the brain and figure out, our system with our nervous system, it has to be not just our brain but our neurological system. our spinal cord and nervous system, we look pretty alien without these meat suits on them. You know, we look pretty archaic. It's just a brain and a nervous